folks. Thought I'd do something a little bit different for the video for today. I, out of curiosity this week, bought this microphone. Now, a lot of you are saying, oh, it's an sm57. Well, actually, no, it's not. This is an sm57. This is Thoman's version. It's the T-Bone MB75. Most obviously it's a 57 clone. I haven't tried it yet. I only got it this week. I've been waiting on it. A couple of reasons I ordered it. One is just morbid curiosity. Is these things any good? Or are these things any good? And two, I heard a lot of people that like having their SM57s and they remove, there's a transformer in here. And there are people that I've heard remove them and get a different sound out of them that they quite like. Now, I don't want to butcher any of my 57s. I've got a few, but I really like them as they are and I don't want to butcher them. So I thought, okay, this one I know for a fact at that price there is no way there's a transformer inside of this microphone. So just to prove the point, I shall open it up. And if we look in there, I hope you can see that. It is totally empty. Whereas in comparison, if I show you the 57, open her up, and as you can see in there, potted in wax, there's a transformer in there. I hope you can see that. So yeah, so there were a couple of the reasons, and I thought, why not do a video and compare the sound of these and see if these T-Bones are any good. Does it sound like a real 57? I'm pretty sure it probably won't, but we'll have a look. But I wanted to take it a little step further than that. So if you give me a minute, I'm going to move you over. Dug out a few of my mics, my dynamic mics that I've got, because I've also seen questions of people asking about what's the differences between SM57s and SM58s. And I've heard people talking about if you remove the dust cover, the grill off of an SM58, it's just the same as an SM57. So, I take it over here. We have here a few of my dynamic mics that I've got kicking around. Now here we have a Beta 58, this one and this one. This is a Shure SM58 and a Shure Beta 58. This is just some cheap copy, I think, is it Unisound? This one here is a known brand, I don't know, I've had these kicking about for years. I've got 3 or 4 of them, they're actually quite good. And then we have this one, which is a Superlux, which I'm pretty sure is meant to be a copy of an EV609. I haven't actually got an EV609, but I thought I'd just throw this one into the mix. So what I thought I would do, I'll show you here, I've set up an amp and a mic stand. I've marked a spot on the amp, so I'm going to put all of these microphones on there, do a test of them, record some clean and some distorted sounds. Now, I'm not a guitar player, as if you've been watching my channel you know I'm a bass player, so I'll just bang out a couple of chords. I'll do a couple of chords clean and a couple of chords with some distortion. I'll try and play the same thing as best I can so that it's all exactly the same. We'll do some comparisons between these two supposed 57 type microphones, the real 57 and the T-Bone. And also we can record the 58s, the Beta 58 and the SM58. We can compare them to the copies. And then I'll also remove the grills on the SM58s and we can compare them to the SM57s like that. And what I'll do is I'll put all of these little files up into Dropbox and I'll put a description a link in the description, sorry, that you can download them and you can have a listen to them yourself. So what I'll do is I'll set things up and then I won't bore you with me filming all the rest of it. Next thing we'll have a look in Reaper and we can kind of go through and have a little listen to them in Reaper. And as I say, for those of you who would like to, if you want to download them, I'll make them available in a Dropbox for you to download. Okay, so I'll set things up and I'll record and then we'll go from there. So see you soon. Okay, so here is our setup. As you can see, I've marked a point on the cabinet and the speaker, and what I do is I have this little head torch here that I shine through the grill cloth, and all that you can see where the beam is actually pointing on the speaker. So I've marked it up, and as you can see on this speaker hopefully, I've set it so that where the dust cap here meets the cone of the speaker, that's exactly where the microphone's pointing at. That's always my starting point. That's the brightest, most full range portion of the speaker. If you move out to the edge here, you'll get a darker sound. Further in, you get a brighter, more full range sound. So this isn't a lesson on how to make a guitar craft, but I'm just explaining to you where I've placed this so that you know what's going on. Right, we're back. I've recorded all the stuff. A little disclaimer, I actually recorded all the takes, had a listen back, and really wasn't happy with the sound. Everything was just a little bit fizzy, and my playing's so inconsistent. I do not pick a guitar up ever, and my playing is so rough these days. So I changed what I was playing to something that was a little bit more consistent. I put a click track on it so that if you guys do want to download these files at the end, they're all in time, so it makes it easier for you to flick between them. I moved the microphone slightly out from the centre, probably by the width of that piece of tape that you saw originally, because the sound was just a little bit too fizzy when I put the distortion in. So I just gave me a slightly darker tone. This is just one of the things you do. So redid all of these, and I've got them all in time. So what I thought we'd do is we'll go through it. I'll flick us into Reaper now, and I'll get rid of my ugly mug from this, and we can flick through and have a listen to some of these and see what you think. As I say, I will put these in a Dropbox. You can download them and judge for yourself, but I think it's kind of very interesting, some of the findings. I deliberately didn't change any volumes as I was recording these because I wanted to see what was the difference between the outputs of the microphones. I mean, I have now adjusted some clip gain to kind of match things up a little bit, because actually, believe it or not, this sm57 was the quietest of all of these. Apart from, no, actually, the Unisound, sorry, this kind of copy of the sm58 was the quietest. But compared to all the other Shure mics and the copy of the sm57, it was the quietest. So I've lifted it up a little bit to try and match the gain, and that made things even more interesting. So without further ado, we'll change over into Reaper, and we'll go through them, and then we'll conclude this. Okay, cheers. Okay, so here we are inside a Reaper now. Let's go through. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to concentrate on just the distorted part of the signal, because I think it tells more of a story than the others do. Just as a little disclaimer again, I have adjusted some of the clip gains. The sm57 was a little bit quiet. I brought up the Unisound mic, and I pulled down the Beta 58 a touch, just to try and balance things out, make things a little bit easier. What I'll do for these first two mics, I'll let you alternatively hear the sm57 and the copy, the MB75 from Thomann, and we'll have a listen to them, the clean and distorted, and then when we go through the rest of them, I'll just loop the distorted, and you'll hear them from there. So if we just have a listen through them all now and see what the differences are. Okay, so there you have it. You've heard them all now. Now my biggest kind of takeaway from it was just how pronounced the mid-range is within the sm57. Now just in case you're on a small screen, you couldn't see that. What you were hearing every time, the first one you were hearing was the sm57, and then as I highlighted each track it was the next mic. So yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. I wouldn't call any of them bad. There was differences. I think the sm57 works with guitars and snare drums, for example, so well because of that accentuated mid-range. The other mics tend to be a little bit more full range. The Thomann one I thought was a little bit thinner, but even though it had more bass, if that makes sense. But I think in the low mids it was a little bit thinner. But it was nothing that would you really notice within a mix, the difference between those two mics. Let's just have a listen to those two one more time, because this was kind of the subject of the video really. There's nothing that a little touch of EQ couldn't make those two sound exactly the same in my mind. I mean, the build quality of this MB75, I don't know what the capsule, I know the capsule you can actually open it up here, which you can't do in a SM57. You have to take the label off and push out a little clip ring. The body is metal, same as SM57. Weight wise it's slightly lighter by about 30 grams I think I weighed them. You know, for the price, for under 40 euros, it's not bad going, is it really? So I'll leave it with you. I'll make these, as I say, I'll make these files available to download. Hope to see you in the next one. Cheers guys, bye now.